Hello, everybody. All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. It is the beginning of the week. It is Monday, September 16th, 2024. We're about 5 to 7 days away from the official start of fall. Um, so with that, I hope everybody's had a good weekend thus far. I hope everybody caught the show last night. Um, so Anyways, we're going to give people a chance to come in before we get started. But if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So with all that being said, of course, as I said, we're going to, um, before I go into what's on tap for tonight, we're going to go ahead and we're gonna give people a chance to wait. And don't forget after we're done here, go check out Rick's cross comment. Yes, tonight he's gonna actually be doing his chill stream tonight due to his work schedule. So go check that out. You guys can. With that, I hope everybody's having a good start to the week. Let's see, what time is it now? Let's see, 2 minutes. So, all right. As I said, of course, if you guys haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. And we're at just past the 2.5 mark, so probably in about 20 more seconds or so, I'll probably go over what's on tap for tonight. A little less than that, obviously, about maybe just over 10 now. Let's see. Okay, so all right, 3 minute mark. All right, so here's what's on tap for tonight. Well, of course, we're gonna go over 3 articles tonight, all from Bleeding Fool. Um, you know, first off, there's a Fleischer Brothers documentary that got an award from the Library of Congress. We're going to be looking over that. First. Comics has gotten a Japanese merchandising deal going, and the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series has got a prequel comic out now. I'm gonna look at that as well. So let's do this. All right. So with that being said, as always, guys, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, with all that being said, now, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first article we're going to go over tonight here. We'll get started here. All right, new Fleischer Brothers doc, as in documentary, wins $200,000 award from Library of Congress. Article by Christina Wiggins, published yesterday, the 15th. For those of you who may not remember or may not know, Fleischer Brothers was an animation company back in the 30s and early 40s, and of course gave us Betty Boop, Popeye the Sailor, and the early 40s animated shorts of Superman. So, of course, before they stopped producing the Betty Boop and Superman animated short, and their studio was bought up by Famous Studios. All right, so let's get into this then. A multi-part film about the Fleischer Brothers, creators of a pioneering animation studio that launched Betty Boop, Popeye the Sailor, and Superman cartoons, has won the richest prize in documentary. This week, the Library of Congress, the Better Angel Society, Ken Burns, as in Ken Burns Baseball, and the Crimson Lion Levine Family Foundation announced Cartooning America as the winner of the 6th Annual Library of Congress Levine Ken Burns Prize for Film. The $200,000 award will go to director Asaf Galay. Quote, most people have never heard the names Max and Dave Fleischer, but their legacy on American animation is profound, having preceded and also inspired Walt and Roy Disney, unquote. Notes they released about the prize. Yeah, unless you're like a cartoon fanatic like myself, or a guy like Jerry Beck, a lot of people wouldn't maybe have known that. But, anyways, quote, unlike the polished characters produced by the Disney studio, the Fleischer characters came right off the streets of New York City. The subtly Jewish Betty Boop, the muttering street smart Popeye, and Superman, the first ever superhero cartoon. Now, mind you, of course, Popeye and Superman got their initial start Popeye got his initial start in comic in newspaper comics, Thimble Theater features that King Feature Syndicate would, and eventually made his way to comic books as well. He started out in, of course, with the newspaper strips. Got into Popeye the Sailor Man premiered. Fleischer Studios Popeye the Sailor Man premiered in 1933, and then eventually would have a feature in King Comics from David McKay Publications. Superman, of course, started out comic book from DC, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. He'd also have a run in the newspapers as well. And, of course, would just lead to a multimedia franchise there. And as always, guys, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Oh, the Fleischers were the first to mix live action with animation, to premiere the first sound cartoon, to pioneer the use of 3D, and to create a feature animation based on original screenplay, unquote. Now, mind you, one of the other things that Fleischer also was known for was giving us one of the first full-length, what we would call today full-length animated feature films in history in 1939 with Gulliver's Travels. Now, preceding that, of course, in 1937, you had a longer-form animated short of about 22 minutes that many of us have seen, Popeye Popeye meets Sinbad the Sailor, or maybe Popeye Sailor and the meets Aladdin yeah. Anyways, continuing on here. The Fleischers were the first to mix live action with animation, to premiere the first sound cartoon, to pioneer the use of 3D, and to create feature animation based on an original screenplay. Unquote. Library of Congress Levine Ken Burns Prize, quote, provides critical recognition and resources to exemplary documentary films that tell compelling stories about American history, unquote. It was established in 2019. All right, so that was, and of course, the middle picture there showing a restoration of a Fleischer Superman cartoon. There we go with that. Alrighty then. So now with that, now let's move on to some of the comic stories here. Let's see. Again, feel free to comment and or ask questions if you guys anything here catches your attention. Also, of course, if you can help out by liking, sharing the stream, that would help out as well. So let's move on to the next story. Next set of stories here, coming out of the comics realm, as it were. All right, so here's the first one we're going to look at here. Okay. Iconic Comics goes global with Japanese merchandise license. Article by Victor James, published September 14th, which of course is this past Saturday, 2014. So let's take a look at this now. All right, so we often highlight how Eastern culture is taking over the West, which we know this because I know Yellow Flash has talked quite a bit about this. So it's rare to see when the opposite occurs. Iconic Comics, home to popular series such as Common America, Arc Athena, and Soul Finder, have scored a huge partnership with Japanese merchandising firm Movic. Movic is a Japanese company that creates merchandise such as CDs, cards, figures, pins, and other products. According to the Movic website, they specialize in Japanese anime and manga related products, which makes Iconic Comics' accomplishment all the more impressive. Now, prior to seeing this article, I'd never even heard of Iconic Comics. I'll be quite honest with you there. But I guess there's some of the stuff they're pulling up here. Iconic Comics, Common America, has been steadily gaining popularity in Japan. Created by Timothy Lin and Mark Pellegrini, the story and art style borrows from the rich style of anime and manga found in Japan, while still maintaining a Western superhero vibe. And this approach has paid off. In their announcement, Iconic Comics points out Movic, one of the largest companies specializing in merchandise pertaining to anime and manga, has partnered with Common America, of course not to be confused with Common Rider, to provide a new line of goods. 99% of their products are from Japanese franchises and properties. Having Common America be offered by Movic is an extremely rare occasion for any American property. Yeah, look at that right there. Pretty impressive look there, that young lady. So this is indeed a watershed moment for American comics. While Marvel and DC have dabbled with trying to entice the Japanese audience, Iconic Comics is one of the first American comic companies to do so organically. Congratulations to Timothy Lynn, Mark Pellegrini, and the other hardworking creators at Iconic Comics for securing this partnership. While some indie creators spend time dividing their fan base with petty internet beefs, um, I guess Mr. James Victor James here, who has written this article, is speaking, of course, some of the drama between Ethan Van Sciver, um, young Ripa, and Yellow Flash. That might be what he's digging at there. Let's see. The team at Iconic Comics continue to make good comics and forge new paths. You can see the link to the Movic Iconic Comics merch. So let's see about that. I'll go grab that link and put it in the chat for anybody who wants to go check that out. Let's see. Oops. What I was trying for, you dingy. All right, so there's that. There's that. So if you guys want to go check that out, and I see somebody has just joined us here. Let's see who just happened to join us. All right, so let's see. Dead Sea Pirate. The best advice you have is live in the moment, not worry, and not worry by hysteria. Well, yeah, that's a good piece of advice there, Dead Sea Pirate. Of course, it probably could, would be nice if more people would live by that, but well. But anyways, let's get back to the article here. There's Common America right there. There's another. And then, of course, this last little advertisement here. Check out my superhero novel, Fiasco of Adventures. Check out my new website, the Mega. All right. So, anyways. All right. So there we go with that news article. So now we're going to move on to the next news article here. I'm just recalling your Don't Panic episode 175. Don't think I had a episode by that name, but Anyways, he might be confusing me with somebody else, but anyways, um, let's move on to the next piece of niche content here. All right, so in smaller quote, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man on smaller quote. Animated series gets prequel comic article by Christina Wiggins published today. All right, so let's take a look at this now. And I guess they're putting a comic out based on I guess a modern animated series, as it were. Let's take a look at this. As always, feel free to comment and or ask questions. If anything grabs your attention, I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, Marvel Animation's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is coming soon to Disney Plus. And before it does, fans can swing into these new Spidey stories in a special prequel comic book series. Written by Marvel superstar Christos Gage and drawn by rising star artist Eric Gapster, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man will be a 5-issue limited series that introduces a young Peter Parker, his supporting cast, and some of Spidey's legendary villains. The comic series introduces some of the amazing adventures to come in this highly anticipated animated series that takes place during Peter's earliest days as Spider-Man. Let me see. Any news? Oh, all right. In Marvel Animation's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker is on his way to becoming a hero with a journey unlike what we've seen before and a style that celebrates the character's earliest comic book roots. In this new comic book series, you can take the very first steps along with him as he discovers his powers, decides to become a hero, and even picks out his name and costume. Now Peter's got to survive an entire freshman year as a newbie crime-fighting vigilante. Yeah, and I know throughout history, he's been shown both as a freshman in college when he gets his powers and a freshman in high school when he gets his powers. So, it's been anywhere in between those two ages that he usually gets his powers. So, actually, I think in the 80s they depicted it more as him getting his powers, as a senior in high school. Actually, let's see. Now, Peter. Okay, yeah, we saw that. And if you think how the story goes, you're in for a surprise. Quote, I've had the privilege of writing a lot of Spider-Man's adventures, both in comics and in the Insomniac video games. But one thing I've never gotten the chance to do is recount his earliest exploits, unquote, he said. I don't know if that simply means that he's going to be changing things up or not, but anyways, quote, and the exciting part about the book is its brand new take on those formative times. While this is definitely Peter Parker, the Spidey we know and love, he's got a new cast of supporting characters, including Nico Minoru, who you may know from Runaways, and some surprising twist. So we're gonna make some, moderate changes here. I mean, these type of changes, I don't think people are going to be as upset about. Just adding some new characters to a supporting cast, and I don't think people will be as upset about that as some of the other stuff they tried pulling in recent years. Anyways, so that's the last of the articles we're gonna, of course, be reading here. Um, oh, anyway, that was not what I was trying to do there. Anyways, what I am going to do, of course, right now, I'm gonna put on some music for just a moment while I take care of something real quick here, and then when I come back, um, we'll figure out what to do from here. Say 20. Maybe I'll go check and see. But anyways, I'm put the music on. All right, so we're back now. Let's see. We're not even at the half-hour mark yet, so I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I'll go peek over one more time at Bounding in the comments, see if there is something there that I can report on. Probably are some stuff that's come up. I last checked it. All right, let's see. So, just trying to see if there's anything else on some of the other sites we sometimes did see if there's anything there that you might. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything there. Let me look one more place here. All right, yeah. So basically, I don't think there's any. All right then. So with that, we're coming up. We're almost at the 30-minute mark here. Let me see. I guess I can try to figure out something to talk. So. All right, so let's see, 30 minutes here. I'm actually gonna need to step away one more time here. I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So let me see now. Now let's see, 32. Let's see some things here. Looking back over the weekend on some of the wrestling stuff going on. We of course had on Friday. We had of course TNA have its Victory Road pay-per-view, so we'll probably take a little bit look at that. WWE had SmackDown as it continues to prepare for its Friday Night SmackDown as it continues to work its way towards Bad Blood next month in October. Let's see now. As we look at the Major League Wrestling had a show, had an event, and I figure out. I believe that was on Saturday. It's going to find it. Let's see. Yeah, Fightland. We'll talk about what happened there. AEW, of course, had its Collision pay-per-view as they, come again, dealing with some of the aftermath of the All Out pay-per-view about a week ago or so. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend in the world of pro wrestling? So we'll do the wrestling wrap-up right now. We'll first talk about what happened on, of course, Friday Night SmackDown, as they're, of course, building towards the Bad Blood pay-per-view. Things are building towards that. And on the show opened up with a steel cage match for the WE and W Universal titles, in which Cody Rhodes had basically fended off the challenge of Solo Sikoa, but during the show as well, later in the show, we'd start getting the early seeds of the bloodline. We'll get to that though in a moment here, but Cody Rhodes retained the WWE World title in that steel cage match over Solo Sikoa. Michin defeated Piper Niven in a one-on-one match in a little under 2.5 minutes. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens teamed together to defeat A-Town Down Under of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Andrade, in the best of 5 series of Carmelo Hayes, defeated him in a number one contendership match for the United States heavyweight title. So he'll be getting a shot at LA Knight, I believe. Fairly soon. Now been deemed the number one contender of the United States title. Some other things that happened, of course, on the show in which Cody kind of solidified a little bit more his alliance as Roman Reigns. They're still building towards the idea of a bloodline civil war there. Throwing things up there. So that's all we got on the WWE side of things. Well, let's see. Actually, let's go to tonight, because tonight being Monday, of course. Let's see what's gonna be going down on tonight's Monday Night Raw. On tonight's Raw, let's see what we got here. On tonight's Raw, what's scheduled for tonight's Raw, which will be airing on the USA Network, of course. From the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Natalya will be taking on Zoe Stark in women's action. Damian Priest continuing, his battles with the Judgment Day. He'll be taking on Dominic Mysterio. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman will be going at each other in what should promise to be a big hoss fight. In a match for the WWE World Tag Team titles, Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day will be defending the titles against the New Day combination of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. So that will be going down tonight on Raw. So now, going back to Friday now. As we'll go to TNA. So this past Friday, of course, TNA had its Victory Road pay-per-view. And on that show, let's see. First off, on the pre-show, on the countdown to Victory Road, Victory Road, of course, came from the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, Texas. The opening match on the pre-show saw Kushida defeat Leon Slater in what proved to be a very solid X Division title match. A lot of high-flying action and a way to show off to a good start. And then in the main event of the pre-show, you saw the team of Hammerstone, Jake Something get the win over Steve Macklin and Eric Young. As these two feuds the two feuds between the four men will look to only escalate that much more. Now, of course, on this past Thursday's Impact, Giselle Shaw made her final televised appearance for TNA, putting over Heather Reckless. And as always, guys, help out by liking and sharing the see if we get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, as we continue on here, then let's talk about what happened on the main show itself, on the Victory Road show itself. Let's see what happened there on the main show itself. Actually, there were a number of title. There were a few title changes that happened. The show opened up with the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, um, defeating the new incarnation of First Class of AJ Bryant and Casey Navarro. As Casey Navarro has replaced Rich Swann in the team. Rich Swann's fortunately had some legal issues come up that have basically taken him off TV. Mike Bailey regained the X Division title from Zachary Wentz about a couple weeks after Wentz won it in the Ultimate X Challenge. Of course, Mike Bailey, getting his contractual rematch, was able to regain the title in a match that had in a match for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Title. Champions Militia were originally scheduled to defend against the team of Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat, in basically a title versus team match in which, if Spitfire did not win the titles, they would be forced to split up. This was, of course, a stipulation that Jody Threat had Jody Threat had actually put out there. Alicia Edwards had apparently recently suffered a neck injury, however, and she was replaced in the team by Tasha Steelz. And the match was still forced to go on. Spitfire did become the new TNA Knockout World Tag, defeating the team of Masha Slamovich and Tasha Steelz. Tasha Steelz filling in for Alicia Edwards. Getting a bit of revenge for some of the recent shenanigans he'd had to suffer at the hands of Josh Alexander. Joe Hendry defeated Josh Alexander in a one-on-one match. So that came about. Also, the system in basically in exercising their rematch clause, they regained the TNA World Tag Team title over ABC, who had recently won it from them, over Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Jordan Grace, in another open show, defended the TNA Knockout World title against NXT's Wendy Chu, which she retained that title. And Moose, getting his contractual rematch, went after the TNA World title, only to come up short, as Nick Namath would retain the title in the match against Moose in just under 20 minutes. So that's all we got for the TNA news. Getting ready now to move on to, let's see. So that's all that happened on Friday night, of course. Now we're going to move on to what happened on Saturday. As, of course, as we said, MLW had its Fightland event, and then also AEW had its Collision event. So we're going to take a look at those. So at the Major League Wrestling event this past weekend at Fightland 2024, held at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. The night saw in the first of two semifinal matches in their Opera Cup tournament, Kenta defeated TJP. Most fans might remember it as TJ Perkins. In the other semifinal match, in a non-title Open Opera Cup semifinal match, Major League Wrestling's World Middleweight Champion Mystico defeated bad dude Tito Escondido. Coming off of his recent release from the WWE, Donovan Dijak defeated Timothy Thatcher. The Andersons, Brock and C.W. Anderson, defeated Bumaya Fight Club, in which, as I had heard, one of the things I heard, JBL made an appearance for the Andersons, helping them win the match. Okamura defeated Adam Priest in a one-on-one match. Satoshi Kojima, the two-time MLW World Heavyweight Champion, current champion as well, he defended the title against Mads Cruel Kruger, and retained it on a DQ win. And in the finals of the Opera Cup, Mystico defeated Kenta. So there we go with that one. Do have to make some lighting adjustments here real quick, so I find the cursor here. All right, I'm gonna put some music on for you guys in a moment here, as soon as I find the cursor, and put some music on for a moment while I put some more light on in here. All right. So, anyways, all right. So now with that, let's move on to, of course, some AEW. As they had their Collision event that aired on Saturday there. The 62nd episode of on this past Saturday's Collision. It came in the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. Jack Perry defended and retained the TNT title over Christopher Daniels. In a six-man tag match, Hologram teamed with Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly of the Conglomeration to defeat the team of the Premier Athletes duo of Arya Daivari and Tony Nese, teaming with the Beast Mortos. Wheeler Yuta, in his first on-screen appearance since the Blackpool Combat Club's betrayal of Bryan Danielson on not this past week's edition, but the week before of Dynamite. He defeated Anthony Henry, utilizing the cattle mutilate, basically the bridging double underhook submission hold, that of course was originated by Bryan Danielson. Another six-man tag match, a match that was supposed to happen on Wednesday before it was spoiled by the Blackpool Combat Club coming out to call out Darby Allin. Commander teamed with Private Party. They had Alex Abramontes in their corner, and they defeated the three men of John Cruz, Lord Crew, and Ren Jones. Again, this was a match originally scheduled for Wednesday, but they had to run it back and Commander and Private Party made a statement. This match lasting just over a minute and a half, and then Private Party in the interview backstage basically saying, "Look, we're coming for you, Blackpool Combat Club." So, in a women's match, Yuka Sakazaki defeated Serena Deeb in a match that seemed to have some implications towards the AEW women's title, as this was looked to set up a possible match between Yuka Sakazaki and Mariah May, who was doing commentary on the match during the match, and then afterwards had actually tried to jump Yuka after the match, but Yuka eventually got the better of her. And of course, throughout the match, Mariah May kept really degrading, Yuka, calling her a child, like, I can't believe I may have to fight a child, But we also saw Serena Deeb's more. It would appear that Serena Deeb may be turning heel. In a 6-man tag match, in a battle of two former world 6-man tag champions, the Bang Bang Gang of Juice Robinson and the Gun Club of Austin Colton Gunn defeated the Cage of Agony of Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Queen Aminata defeated Robin Renegade in a one-on-one match, but following the match, of course, was attacked by Serena Deeb, potentially setting up a match between those two. And the main event of the night saw FTR of Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defeating Grizzled Young Vets of James Drake and Zach Gibson. So basically that's all I got for you in the wrestling wrap-up side of things. So we're done with that part. So now with today being Monday, September the 16th, 2024, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. So first off, we're going to head back 75 years ago. And on this date, back in 1949, as soon as I bring that up, on this date back in 1949, the 5th issue of Romantic Adventures from ACG went on sale on newsstands on this date back in 1949. It was 10 cents, 48 pages. Now, mind you, everybody, these comics were also popular back then, these kind of more romantic-like comics. This particular book went, I think, from what I've seen, went about 38 issues. So on this date back 75 years ago today in 1949, the 5th issue of Romantic Adventures went on sale on this date back in 1949. So there we go with that. Now moving ahead to the next piece in each history. On the next piece in each history here, we'll move ahead to 10 years ago, 2014. On this date, 10 years ago, during, of course, a TV taping for TNA's Impact program, Havoc defeated Gail Kim for the TNA Women's Knockout Championship here. On this date, 10 years ago today, Havoc defeated Gail Kim to become the new TNA Women's Knockout Champion. And normally this is where I would say 2014 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. But in this case, it might not be quite as nice, particularly for the family of this individual. And on this date, 10 years ago today, Edward L. Jones, better known to most fans as Buster Jones, who was an American voice actor and television host, passed away at the age of 70 on this date back in back in back in 2014. Of course, among his more famous roles that many of us would remember, of course, include Black Vulcan from the Super Friends cartoon, Doc from G.I. Joe Real American Hero, Blaster from Transformers. He would also continue the voice of Winston Zeddemore in the Real Ghostbusters, um, replacing Arsenio Hart, and later Extreme Ghostbusters. So on this date in on this date back in 2014, the age of 70, Buster Jones passed away. And for those who, particularly if you grew up watching cartoons in the 70s and 80s, you probably have heard this guy's voice before. But since, of course, as kids, we don't necessarily pay attention to names or who the voice actors are. As kids, we don't necessarily care about that. You usually, learn about it later in life, like me, if that's something you're interested in. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Let's see. As always, I hope you all enjoyed the show. And of course, head over to if you can, head over to Rick Cross Comics channel. As Rick will probably be going on here in a few minutes. If you guys want to go say hi to him, go check out his show. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night with more Niche News. Friday, we will still be doing, of course, the historical commentaries. I may or may not have Rick on here. Depends on if he can get here in time from work. So he told me that I should still go ahead and send him the link. So try to get him on. This week we'll be going through Target Comics Volume 1, Issue 4, I believe, from Novelty Press. We'll be looking at such characters as White Streak, Bullseye Bill, High Grass Twins, among a few others. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.